Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well today. Just wanted to record a bit of information about last week, this week, and our quiz over from last week as well. So, week 4, we were talking about internal environmental analysis. So, we talked first about external, and then that service area competitor analysis, part of or an extension um, of the external analysis. And so now we were talking about the internal environment and how our own strengths and weaknesses can impact our operations, our standing in the marketplace, all of those types of things. And then also talking about competitive advantage. So, how do we position ourselves using our internal strengths against our competitors? So lots of detail about those topics from last week, and then obviously also our written assignment from last week about that topic overall. So this week, one of my more favorite topics. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. I think. I find directional strategies to be vital to an organization, and I think that you know having those in place and really putting thought and work into your directional strategies as a healthcare organization can really drive your overall culture, and that's why it's really important when you're creating directional strategies that it's not just the C-suite people sitting around deciding what the strategies are, what our mission, vision, and values are. It really needs to involve, kind of a grassroots effort. Everyone at every level needs to get involved. Now, obviously, everyone can't be involved, but make sure that there's representative of all of those levels in order to be able to, effectively put in place directional strategies that will really create that culture in your organization. So we'll talk about that, mission, vision, values, talk a little bit about how to write mission and vision statements. And remember, the mission statement is really your current state. What are you? What do you want your organization to look like to your employees, to your patients, to the public? But then our vision is that future state. So what do you want to look like in the future? What are you striving for? And it's usually tied to goals as well. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about vision in our discussion this week. And also, I want you to take a look at a mission statement. Perhaps an organization that you work with, or maybe it's a place that you go for care. Take their mission statement, or even develop one from scratch. But it's probably easier take their mission statement and alter it based on what you're seeing, what you want for the future for that organization. How does it better represent not necessarily a future, because this is the mission statement, but how can you create a statement that will better represent what's going on in that organization overall? And it's interesting. We've done the same exercise in this class for a little while, and it's interesting to see, especially folks that work at various healthcare organizations, to make alterations to the mission statement from what has been developed, and they look at what kind of what the C-suite has put in place as their mission, as compared to folks that are working on the floors or working in departments, and how they see the mission of the organization and what it represents. So really interesting, kind of a tack to take. And then also, if you're not working in a facility, you're working somewhere else, or you're a full-time student, or whatever it might be. Taking the mission statement of an organization you're familiar with, and even seeing it from the patient perspective or the public perspective, how would you alter that mission statement? So look forward to that. I think that's an interesting exercise, and hopefully you'll find that to be interesting as well. So let's talk about our quiz from last week. Just a couple questions. Generally, most people did well on the quiz, so there are only a couple things outstanding here to talk about. So first question: any organization that develops a better product, delivers a better service, or establishes a substantial cost advantage will have competitive advantage. And our answer there is false. You might have the best product, the best service, or the cheapest product, and it doesn't necessarily mean you'll have competitive advantage in the marketplace. It's really a perfect storm of several things that will create competitive advantage for you in the market. And especially because each market is different. Some some people in the market may be drawn to a cost advantage. I think of grocery stores like here in Florida, we have Publix and we have Publix, really, but there are like Aldi's and those kinds of things. If you're looking for a cost advantage, you're probably going to go to Aldi's. If you're looking for the status quo, you're going to go to Publix. If you want a better product, you're going to go to Whole Foods or Fresh Market. So it's just interesting to see, different portions of the marketplace respond differently to different portions of competitive advantage. So it really depends on you looking at your market, which we talked about in the external environmental analysis, and then looking at your strengths as an organization. Okay, our strength is to be the cost leader. That would be Aldi or Walmart. But not everybody likes to shop at Aldi and Walmart, so it doesn't necessarily mean you have competitive advantage. It does draw people in that want that. Same with the better product. Not everybody likes Whole Foods. A lot of people call it like whole paycheck because it's so expensive to shop there. But other people do. I love Whole Foods. I don't buy all of my groceries there, but I might get produce there or those types of things because it is a better product and I'm willing to pay a premium for that. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have competitive advantage if you provide one little aspect. The organization that would truly have competitive advantage kind of has a perfect storm of a series of things to really provide that advantage over others. Next question. Organizational strengths represent competitive advantages when they, lots of different options here, obviously, but our correct answer is are marshaled in a way that allows them to become genuine strategic assets. So you may have, several organizational strengths. Like, for example, let's say that we have a really great nursing. Let's say we're a hospital, we have a really great nursing staff, really caring, compassionate. Maybe we have magnet status for our nursing in our organization. But let's say the physicians there aren't great. Maybe they have maybe they're not great clinically. Maybe they don't have a great bedside manner. Maybe you have a lack of physicians. Maybe you don't have a lot of specialties that can really draw people into your organization. So the fact that nursing is good isn't necessarily going to drive people, because in order to use that excellence in nursing, you need to have patients that are interested in coming there. So how would you take that how would you take that strength of great nursing and marshal it in some way that would make it be a strategic asset? Well, you kind of build, I think of it like a sports team. You can have really one great player and your team's still going to stink if you only have one great player. If you build a team around that great player, then you're going to be good. Similarly to this, your one great player in this instance is nursing, but you need to build a team around them. You need to have nurses' aides. You need to have good physicians that are directing the clinical care, etc. So you really need to take an organizational strength like that we were talking about and marshal it so just that strength alone doesn't represent competitive advantage. You need to really use that strength in a way that's going to become a strategic asset because it is functioning as part of an excellent team. So that's our answer there. Next one, organizational strength is, and again, lots of different answers here, but our correct answer is an attribute that one organization possesses and uses successfully. So it can be a tangible attribute, an intangible attribute, either situation is fine, but that strength is something that we not only possess, but we use successfully. So again, go back to that example of nursing. We can have great nursing and have, like I said, very caring, compassionate nurses providing excellent care for patients in the hospital. We can have magnet status and all those great things, but how does that impact the patient if they're not coming to our facility because the clinical care is not available or isn't great or whatever? So we need to possess the strength, but then also use it successfully and properly. So So that is our definition of organizational strength. Okay, so that's all I've got for this week. We are in week 5. We're all over halfway through, surprisingly. This term is moving right along. But if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. And this week is it's pretty straightforward. But if you have any questions about the mission and vision or how to find a mission and vision for your organization, please feel free to reach out. The other thing for anybody in the class that might work for a large, if you work for a health system and you work for a large health system, I would encourage you to also look to your facility that you work in. So let's say it's a large health system like UPMC. I'll use that as the example because of the Pittsburgh base of most of our folks. But even within UPMC, it's obviously a massive health system in Western PA. But oftentimes the hospitals themselves each have their own mission statement as well. So check it out. They may not. A lot of places are now conforming to the to the overall organization. But if there is one, make sure you're taking a look at that. Or if you are, let's say you do work for one of the UPMC hospitals, and you look at the UPMC mission statement and you don't have something specific for your organization, that might be a good way to look at the assignment as well. Like, hey, probably, our mission is a little different than the overall mission of UPMC. So here's how we, might alter the mission statement to represent what we're really doing in our organization. So that's it. Any questions, like I said, please let me know and have a great week. Thanks.